today we're going to be making a leaf bowl or a leaf face. Right now I have the bowl. So a few things you'll need is you'll want some plastic wrap here, saran wrap. You'll want some rubber cement or similar adhesive. We'll also want some Mod Podge here to finish off the bowl. And you'll need the bowl that you want to copy. Obviously you'll need some leaves, and here I actually just use an old Powerade bottle as a stand to lift it up off the counter so I can work over this bowl. Another thing you could use is if you have an old toilet paper roll, or perhaps you have paper towel rolls you'd like to use. So we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to start with a saran wrap and tear off a piece large enough to cover this. And this may mean multiple sheets. We'll just go ahead and fit this on here however big you want the bowl to be, obviously with a little bit of overlap in it. You might have to readjust with your stand as you're going. Just make sure you cover all of the edges of your bowl so you don't end up gluing anything to the bowl. So you can see we're not quite covering there. So go ahead and do another piece. I might just overlap here. It might be overkill, but we'll try and get both sides well covered. Alright, so now that I have that on there, this water bottle stand might not have been the best idea, but it'll work. Don't really want lumps in there, but I think it'll be okay with that overlap. Another thing that I didn't mention is I have some old pages from my magazine down just to make sure I don't get anything stuck on the counter. So now that we have that, we're going to go ahead and start picking out our leaves. So you'll want them before they're totally dried. See, they're still fairly flexible and not super crunchy yet, but I do have a variety of colors. So I don't want the kind of stems on here. I'm going to go ahead and rip those off. And then you're just going to start with your placement. We'll get our rubber cement here. And keep in mind, this will be, the part that you're placing down will be the inside of the bowl. So whether you want the leaves facing outwards or the leaves facing inwards and do multiple layers, that is up to you to decide. But if you do have a variety of leaves, that might be a good idea. Otherwise, I am going to go ahead and put the inside of the leaf down like that. So we'll take our rubber cement here. And you can also just use, like I said, Mod Podge or something, but we'll get that. And I'm just doing very lightly on this one because we will end up pulling the plastic off. So, like that. Another idea is you could just get a bowl of water and slightly wet these down. So I'm going to look for a few bigger leaves. This one's a little bit crunchier. You can see I didn't get them all in time, but I kind of like a little bit of that dried look going on. And so after that first one, I'm going to try to only glue around the edges here so I don't have to pull harder on that saran wrap. So we'll go ahead and do that and follow up with directions after that. Alright, now we have all of the leaves on all the sides, you can see. So I have it resting on that water bottle again. We'll want to leave it here for anywhere from 2 to 4 hours to let that rubber cement dry completely. And once that happens, we will try to peel off the plastic wrap. Either that or we'll wrap it around if we need to. So we'll come back to that once this is completely dry and we'll show you the finished product. Alright, now we've let it dry for a little bit. I've carefully removed my bowl here, and now I'm slowly peeling back my plastic wrap. So you want to be really careful because the leaves are still quite tacky on the inside, but I'm removing it before the rubber cement is completely dry. Otherwise it'll likely tear off the leaves. You can see it's a little bit stuck here, but we're just going to slowly remove this before we let it continue drying. So that was my extra piece that I got off there. You can see it's trying to bring leaves with it, so you have to be very slow and methodical with this. It helps to kind of grab the ends of the leaves and slowly separate. If you just pull quickly, it will rip the leaves. And the less dry your leaves are, the easier this will be. But if they're too green, they'll also have a lot of moisture in them, and you don't necessarily want that either. So it's kind of a fine point of finding leaves after they fall, but before they get super crunchy. Okay, so I got all of my plastic wrap off, and this is kind of what it looks like. Like I said, we'll leave it dry overnight now, and then we'll have a bowl. There are a few spots that I probably could have put a second layer of leaves on just to help the structure. So depending on how it is once it dries, I might go back and put a few more on down in here. Otherwise, this is what your bowl will look like. If you want it to be sturdier, you can keep layering leaves on here. A few layers will make it quite a bit sturdier than the one layer that I did. But hopefully this gives you a fun fall decoration that you can use. Obviously not super heavy duty, so be careful what you put in it, but it's kind of a fun bowl. And you can vary the size. Like I said, I picked this size. You could pick a smaller one, or you could use a quite large bowl like this to get a wider look. So really customizable to anything you want to see. If you want a wider one, you can do that. But like I said, just kind of a cute fall decoration, and very affordable, because all you really need to buy is rubber cement and some plastic wrap. And then we'll likely finish this off with some of this glass Mod Podge, just to kind of hold everything in there and give it a little bit of shine. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe and like it, and join us next time for another craft.